that before we send the ground troops in, we'll start an aerial assault. We'll drop enough bombs that we're going to bomb them back to the Stone Age. That before we send the troops marching in, before we do all of that, we're going to soften them up by dropping some bombs on them. Jesus followed the same tactic. I'm not making it up. It's right there. Look at this. Look at verse 34 of Luke 23. They're nailing him to the cross. They lift him up. They drop him in the hole. He is now experiencing excruciating pain in every part of his body. Watch what Jesus does. He bombards the enemy with love. Yes. He says in verse 34, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. Remember, I told you that our weapons are not carnal. They're not physical implements. They are spiritual things. Watch this. Jesus noticed that in order to win our freedom back from the insurgency that was enslaving us, before he went in on the ground attack, he decided to show enough love and forgiveness that even though they were coming at him with hate and with evil, the best way to overcome it is with love. Can I talk to somebody that you're in a situation right now where folks are coming to you with a whole bunch of hateration and you're trying to figure out how to get them back? You need to tell them, Father, forgive them. They don't even know who they're messing with. They don't know what they're doing. I need to let somebody know here today that the best weapon that you have is to give them love for all their Jesus said, in order to win this battle, before I can get to what is really the problem, I have to start with showing them love that forgives. Do you realize you can claim that you love somebody, but until you have to forgive them for how they hurt you, that's right, you haven't really proved your love for them. You can buy them flowers, you can get them chocolate, but until they have done something that hurts you and you choose to look past what they've done and still embrace them, you really don't know what love is. That's why when these couples come to me, Pastor, we want to get married. We are so in love. Y'all don't even know what it is yet. Wait till they get on your last nerve. Wait until they talk about your mama. Wait until he takes the money and goes gambling instead of paying the bill. Forgive him, then tell me if you love him or not. Don't worry, fellas. They clapping now. I got one for them later on. Don't worry. Jesus bombarded with love. Isn't it interesting that we celebrate Martin Luther King, who told us that when they turn the fire hoses on you, sing for them and pray for them. And it broke the back of a stronghold in our country that for some kind of way we've forgotten the power of righteous love. Jesus understood. He weaponized love. He turned love into a weapon that while they were coming at him with all the hate, with all the evil, with all that they intended to do to him, while he was in excruciating pain, he found the capability to look past their fault, see their need, and say, Father, choose to forgive them. Wow, man. Because here's one thing that I found out. You can't be mad at somebody and praying for them at the same time. Because if you choose to love them enough to pray for them, as you're talking to him about them, pretty soon he starts talking to you about you. Somebody said, move on, Pastor. I can't move on yet because we got to realize that Jesus understood the battle was for our souls. And so the best way to begin the attack was to start with showing what love really looked like. Jesus loved you and I so much. He took the worst that the enemy had, and in the middle of what they did as their worst to him, he looked past them and saw me and you. And said, Lord, if I get mad at them for what they're doing to me, then my child down the road in 2016 is going to fall by the wayside because they don't understand what the power of love really is. So, Father, I choose to forgive them.
Yes, yes.
You forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. But, you know, I have discovered our enemy is tricky. He's a slick son of a gun. Right as Jesus starts this aerial campaign of bombarding the enemy with love, watch what the enemy does in verse 35. The crowd watched, and the leaders scoffed. He saved others. They said, let him save himself if he's really God's Messiah, the chosen one. The soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, if you are the King of the Jews, save yourself. A sign was fastened above him with these words, this dying fella is the King of the Jews. One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, so you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and hook a brother up while you at it. Watch this. As Jesus is bombarding with love, the enemy decides to feint. Not faint. F-E-I-N-T. It means fake. It means to try to get your attention going in a different direction. Somebody's going to see this in a second. Jesus is pouring out love and bombarding with love. The enemy, in order to distract him, watch what the trick is that they use.